All right, everybody, I want to thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Man, we have got a special show for you guys. I know we haven't done one in a little while. April has been kind of a busy month for us with the holiday, and then Easter, and then just it's been a lot going on. But James, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Oh, pretty good.
Uh,
So we got our man Casey sitting in there.
oh yeah, Casey ain't no
Casey,
stranger to the show.
no.
The
Hey,
Reed is what we like to call him now. So any of y'all know him, that's what we're gonna start. We're gonna start his nickname, the Reed. He's gonna get it on the back of his next jersey, I promise you. But no, man, we got a really good show lined up. Casey just won the KBF. Let me get this right. Northeastern Regional at Lake Anna. That's a lot to say there. On the pro side and on the trail side. So we're gonna go in depth with him tonight on how he did it. And we just had him on a show not too long ago, actually talking about the Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge. We kind of went in a little bit about a little bit of everything for this whole year. So, and I told him, I said, when we come up there, save the guy. Just try to keep the guy aside. I want to make sure we get him on to tonight's show. And he just made it easy for us. So, congratulations, man. That was an impressive win.
hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It was a heck of a time, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough event. It almost looked like you were fishing a different body of water. I mean, really, it was just tough. From where me and James was at, I can tell you that. I don't know what it was like where you're at, but I can tell you where we was at. It wasn't doing real good.
Yeah.
but the guy that was second, it just hit. I just had a brain fart.
Mark.
Mark, yeah,
Mark
Mark.
Edward.
He was fishing the same area me and James was fishing at, and he did really well. But I think he had a special spot that was big for him. So, but it was a really great turnout. We'll go more in depth with that in just a second. Before we start going into your story, but first off, I want to congratulate Rick Tilley on winning the Bass Pro. I mean, not man. I'm talking too much about MLF and all that stuff here lately. On the Oakley Big Bass tournament.
No, it is the Bass Pro Big Bass.
Oh yeah, that Bass Pro. I'm
You-
sorry,
you-
Johnny
you had
Morse
it
has
right.
got his name and
You
everything
had it
now.
right.
Yeah, the Bass Pro Oakley Big Bass, whatever. But congratulations to Rick Tilley on that. He's a local guy around here. Everybody that fishes knows Rick Tilley. Him and his dad, really great people, nice to talk to, and it couldn't happen to a better person. It's been a local guy the last couple of times. It's won this event. So, but I know the fish were kind of in that kind of like that was at Anna. It was a spawn, pre-spawn, spawn, post-spawn situation. The weather was brutal this weekend. Today was probably one of the nicer days to really fish
Yeah.
with the wind.
Yeah. The wind was really bad on Friday. I mean, I'm pretty sure it poured down there most of the day.
Yeah. And then you had Saturday, it was gusting. They were calling for 50-mile-an-hour gusts around here. It wasn't as bad as Anna, but it was still pretty bad.
Yeah.
But and then today wasn't too bad. It was just breezy around here today, but still kind of temperature-wise, it was a lot better. So congratulations, Rick. I've actually been trying to text Rick to get him on the show. That's kind of last minute. So, but first off, before we get into all this, let's thank all our sponsors. We've got a really great group of people that help support this show to help make this show what it is. You'll see them scrolling through the top there. Also, you can check out in the description of them. But just to name them off, I want to thank Bonafide and Yak Attack, Biono Power, Parapole, Missile Baits, Falcon Rods, and Accucold. Guys, the biggest, a Bonafide and the Parapole, and I actually just did a video on the setup today that you'll see here soon. Just having the Bonafide as being a stable kayak, it was just exceptional yesterday with all the wind we had with the new fins that we put on there. James, I mean, what was your take on the fins that we put on the Bonafide yesterday compared to what it was before?
Well, I didn't think that they were going to do anything when I first put them on, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, it's two pieces of rubber.
Yeah, and it tracked so much better, and the wind, I mean, it tested them out yesterday. I mean, because it was windy,
Yeah,
big time.
yeah,
So, I mean, to me, it was a big change.
Yeah.
If you're having tracking issues with your bona fide, that's the way to go.
I know just going up the lake, when we got the trolling motors on ours, and going up the lake, I felt like I wasn't having to adjust as much. You know, when you're going up wide open with your trolling motor and it'll kind of steer a little bit here and there, I feel like I didn't have to do that as much yesterday with the tracking. You know, it felt like it stayed more straight than it normally does. I don't know if it's the fins or just, I don't know, how everything was set up in my boat. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was nice. The bona fides are real bad about kicking in the back end. I don't know how the kayaks are, but you get a lot of wind. It felt like you was going to spin a circle. And those little fins, those little rubber fins on the bottom, it just looks like you get it and you're like, really? This is they work. They did a really good job. So congrats to them. And a big player yesterday was the power pole. That was big time player. Towards the end of the day, me and James started figuring out a little something. It was just too late. We couldn't make it happen, but we had to be in the wind, throwing a spinnerbait and some grass. That's where we started getting bites at the end of the day. And just being able to sit in those spots, you know, in that wind was key. So, but that was two big players for us yesterday. And like I say, everybody else, Missile Baits and Bino Power coming on board with it this year. I mean, man, we run the dog crap out of them things yesterday in the wind and still got power left. So
Yeah, I couldn't believe I still had power when I got back to the boat ramp.
yeah, I mean, we were running crap out of them things. But anyways, guys, go check all them out. They're big sponsors for our show. And also, Casey, you got Dakota batteries too. Them guys help y'all out with the national championship, and then helping you out through the year, and they've been good for you as well. So. You can go check them out. I'll actually put them in the link of this at the end, so you can go check them out as well. What was a big player for you yesterday? What was kind of one of them things on your kayak that felt like it was a must have? Like kind of with the conditions that you felt like you had to have.
Well, for me, it was definitely the pedal drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, just being able to sit in front of the docks and kind of tweak, and when the wind would pick up, be able to pedal along with it and stay positioned.
Yeah.
That was definitely key. I had my power pole, but I was in a little bit deeper water, so.
Yeah. It's probably you couldn't even really use that.
It didn't help me much yesterday, but the power pole is always good to have as well.
Yeah. Well, guys, we had Casey. How many did we have in the trail event yesterday that fished?
There was 118.
Yeah.
People that signed up.
And how many was it that didn't catch fish?
I don't know the exact number, but let's see. I think when I looked, I think there was 60 or 70 that did catch a fish. I could be wrong on that number, but
yeah.
I think it was somewhere around there. And a lot of those were only one fish, two fish. There was only 7 or 8 people, I think, that caught a limit. So it was tough fishing for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely was. It was every weather condition that you really didn't want this time of the year. Bluebird skies. You just had a front come through. So you're on the tail end of a front. And then you got 30-mile-an-hour winds.
See, other than the wind, I loved everything. So
yeah.
I like, especially on a lake like Anna or Smith Mountain Lake, I like the sunny days. It really pushes fish up under those docks, and I mean, I fish a shaky head probably 99% of the time, anyways. but on conditions like that and around docks and stuff, man, I'd do it all day if I could.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to the worm, I don't know if you want to tell what brand you use or whatever, but what worm do you primarily use on your shaky head?
So I use the Zoom Magnum shaky head worm.
Yeah.
And I use that most of the time. Every once in a while, I'll have the trick worm on there as well. But for most of the time, it's the shaky head worm.
I got you. Chris, is everything okay, buddy?
Somebody says his mic is not working.
It does. It's really light sometimes.
Really light. Let's cut the gain on up there, Chris. See what we can get.
All right.
But your volume's up.
I may be
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was all good. It was all good earlier when we did our mic checks, but
I can say something else.
All right, is that better?
once you get over to the YouTube side and it starts streaming, it seems like everything goes to hell. I mean, sorry, crap. Shouldn't have said it like that. But sorry if any kids are listening.
Whoopsie.
Yeah. but yeah, so you kind of you almost remind me of like Jeff Crete. I don't know if you know who Jeff Crete is on Elite Tour. Jeff Crete has made a living throwing a shaky head.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all that man. If you watch him on anything, if it's live or anything, it is a shaky head.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's hard to. I mean, when you go practice, do you try to throw anything out? Or is it just like it's hard?
Man, I do, but I went last weekend. Me and Dustin went up to the lake, and we're trying to figure something out. And of course, I pick up the shaky head. I go straight to the docks,
Yeah.
and I catch a couple, and I just couldn't put it down the rest of the day. And eventually I told Dustin, I was like, man, there's really no point of me doing anything else because I'm not going to be able to set the shaky head down.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm getting a couple bites here and there. I already know what I'm doing, so there's really no point in me pre-fishing. So.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's tough too because I throw the drop shot and the Nico rig a lot. I actually got away from the shaky head because of the Nico rig.
Yeah.
I just need to figure out if there is a time when you should throw that shaky head over the Nico rig because really it's the same kind of concept. You're just hooking it different. You still got that weight holding it. It's just a little different action than a regular shaky head. And I'm the same way. Like when we got up there that morning and I was trying to capitalize maybe on the shad spawn, I kept wanting to reach back here to that Nico rig, and I finally did, and I caught a 17 3/4, but then that bite died, and then later I come back to that dock and caught barely a 12-inch fish.
Yeah.
And I just could not duplicate that nowhere else where I fished at, until later we picked a spinnerbait up. But that's my problem. Like, I know I want to fish big fish baits, but when you got that thing back there where you know you can catch a fish, it is hard not to throw it,
And I mean, I look at a shaky head. I mean, it's not a big fish bait, but I mean, I've caught a lot of big fish on it. So I stay away from saying it's a not a big fish bait anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely a numbers bait, but I've caught plenty of big ones on it. So.
Yeah. And I mean, me and James for years, that's what we fished at Smith.
All the time.
Was a shaky head. And then in Smith, I've kind of gotten away from the shaky head and went to the drop shot or, like, say, the Nico rig. A drop shot's hard to beat on docks in Smith, especially during the summertime,
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of been big for us. But last night you went out, and I know it wasn't a whole lot of people in the event, but you went out last night. So after winning this event, you went home and you went fishing on Smith and ended up catching – you had we had a 19 and an 18, you said?
Yeah, 19 and a half, I think, and a 18.
So you ended up winning that event.
Yeah, the one night stand event for the Northeast.
Yeah.
Like I said, it wasn't very many people in it, but I was trying to actually go and upgrade for the month-long tournament, and I got some people I'm in second right now, but I don't want to drop any further, so I was trying to upgrade for that, and I went ahead and entered the one-night stand as well. And I didn't realize there was only a few people in it, but, I went out and just did what I could.
Yeah, yeah. That's impressive, man. That's momentum, So where's the next event going to be at for the northern or for the Northeast region?
So for the Northeast region, the next event, I believe, is Lake George in New York. That is coming up May... It's the same day as the Yak Attack tournament, whatever weekend that is.
Oh, so May 17th.
Yeah.
So are you going to go to that? Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'll have to miss the Yak Attack tournament this year, which I was really bummed about. I've been, I think, 3 or 4 years in a row now, so it's a disappointment to miss that event. But chasing points for KBF is something that I have to do. So.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, the Yak Attack event is always fun, and it's always a good cause. But it's. You start getting this time of the year, so many events to go to, you got to really pick and choose what's more important when it comes to what you're trying to chase, you know? So, But yeah, it's for us. We both signed up for it, but I think I'm gonna go to the dinner and all that. But I won't be able to fish the next day because it's be my son's party, and then James, he's got some stuff that's coming up. We just didn't realize all that was going on at the same time when we signed up for the yak tag event. But you would have been, if you'd have signed up this year, you'd have been your 5th year. You would have got first chance at it next year, right?
Yeah, well, it was my it would be my 4th or 5th year. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but yeah, I would have. If not, I would have been right there waiting with everybody else, waiting to click that submit button and pay for it to get it locked in. But it sold out quick this year, man.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I mean, last year it was like an hour and a half, I think, or something, and that was like super quick. But like, yeah, so I knew it was gonna go quick this year.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, is anybody else saying anything about sound or?
He said it was much better.
Okay, so I had to cut the gain back up. We cut the gain down real low because it seemed like it was picking my mic up more. But so Casey, let's kind of talk a little bit about. I don't think we covered this last time we had you on the show. Let's talk a little bit about how you got into the fishing side. So, I mean, you snowboarded for a while. I mean, did you even bass fish in high school?
Yeah, I mean, I did a little bit. It was mainly before the high school days. You know, I kind of got into fishing with my uncle and my grandpa. You know, we do a little bit of, like, my uncle had a little creek in the backyard, and we'd, you know, go down there and catch creek chub, bluegill, bass, whatever, you know, whatever's in there. And, you know, me and my grandpa and my uncle would go out west to Colorado, do some camping and trout fishing and stuff like that. And then I kind of got out of fishing throughout the high school years.
Yeah.
You know, had a lot of other stuff going on, and you know, just kind of got out of it. And actually, what brought me back into it was a trip to the beach. We went, and me and a few buddies, we went out on the pier one night and saw these people catching sharks and stuff off the pier. So we went in there, rented some fishing poles, and went, you know, got some shrimp, and freaking went out there and started catching some, you know, 4 foot sharks, and that's really what got me back into fishing.
Yeah.
Then when I came back, you know, I got a few rods and reels, and then started hitting the lakes around here, you know, walking around some of the small ponds and stuff, and catching what I could.
Yeah, and then you just got into saved up, got you a kayak.
Yeah, so I got a kayak, you know, got a little cheap sit-in kayak, and got out on the water and started fishing out of it, and then just started upgrading from there. And, you know, the past 5 years, it's been on. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's crazy, man. It just how everything. Because I remember, you know, I think we probably talked about this a little bit last time, James. When we went to school with Casey, we all graduated the same year, and through high school, me and James, you know, kids are partying or going to party. Me and James was fishing, you know.
Yeah.
We're going out on the lake at night. Mom and Dad must have really trusted us because we're out there in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning in a 12-foot. If they really loved us, they wouldn't have let us go.
Yeah, maybe they wanted us to never come back. I don't know.
We're
in a 12-foot boat and Smith Mountain Lake at night, you know. So,
yeah.
but
We almost died a couple times during the day in that thing.
But
old Montgomery Ward motor.
yeah, I mean, man, we pieced that dude together. I mean, it had all kinds of stuff in it. But
That's funny.
But I mean, you know, it just we kind of look back, and me and James were talking one day. I was like, man, I never even knew Casey was into fishing when he was in high school. But like I said, you really wasn't messing with it then. But
Yeah.
man, we could have been really like that. You know what I mean? Through high school, but
Yeah, I wish I was when I was in high school, man. If I would have never got out of it for as long as I did, man, I feel like, you know, that's a long time. I had a lot to learn, you know. I still feel like I'm learning a lot now, and
yeah,
and if I would have been able to get back into it when I was younger, you know, I'd feel like it'd be that much, you know, better.
yeah. And that's the same stuff we've talked about. I mean, when we got out of high school, we were big in it, and then we got out of high school. We
stopped.
We stopped. We played with cars, played with motorcycles,
And women.
And I didn't play with no women. I already had mine. But
You play with your woman.
yeah, I played with my woman. But
Oh boy.
Yep, getting us in trouble already. Here we go. But we just got out of it, and that's kind of how I think fishing gets like that. I guess anything you get, you know what I mean. But it's something about fishing that always pulls you back.
Yeah.
Like I say, going to the beach, catching a shark, just feeling that pool, And I got out of it. James got out of it, and I think what got me back in it was when we went to we rode motorcycles up here to Bridgewater one night and seen bass boats ripping up and down the lake again, And I talked to my dad, and I said, Dad, I want to get back into fishing. I want to do some tournament fishing, and that's what we did. He knew a guy that he ate breakfast with in the mornings all the time, and they had a bass club, and that's it was on then.
Yeah.
I think James, I called you up one night and wanted to go out and fish one of the night tournaments, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was something like that because I knew I was staying with Ashley in Roanoke at the time, and
Yeah.
got my fishing stuff. Ended up joining the club again, and it's been on since then.
Yeah, it's just crazy how it pulls you back. It's something about it pulls you back. It's a hard sport to get out of.
Yeah,
It's adrenaline rush when you hang that fish,
Yeah.
not knowing if you're even going to get it in the boat, And I don't know. It's just something that's hard to get away from.
Yeah, I mean it's really unlike any other sport. I mean you're competing against the fish. You're not really competing against the other anglers, man. You gotta beat that fish.
Yeah, exactly. You got to figure them out, and
Yeah.
that's what the fun part is.
Yeah.
Is going out there like I said, we had the front come through. You can really overthink something very easy, and I think that's kind of what we did when we first got out there. I think we knew the shad spawn was going on, but we also knew we had a lot of wind coming. It's the end of It's the post. It's the end of the front, and you got bluebird skies, which a lot of times is tough in bluebird skies. And I don't know if we not really spun ourselves out, but just kind of overthought the process. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just going out there and kind of fishing the moment and just seeing what happens, But I guess we still did, but I think we kind of overthought it a little bit.
Yeah, that's easy to do for sure.
Yeah. And that's a lot of questions we get. I've seen come through our stuff before. Is like, how do you know when to make a change? How do you know, without practice, how do you know what to start off with? And
Yeah.
I mean, the big thing is just kind of knowing the fish, what they do at water temperatures and this time of the year, and all that, and how they stack up. I mean, that's part of figuring the game out. That's what makes you come back for more. Kind of deal. Just dang, I didn't figure it out this time, but I know what I maybe need to do next time.
Yeah.
So, but now, what got you? How did you find out about the KBF? I mean, KBF really wasn't big then. Was you fishing? Is that what you started out as in tournaments, or?
No, really. In the kayak tournaments, started out fishing a local one. A guy that was up around Smith Mountain Lake. He had started. It was like a group of maybe 10 people, and we'd go out and $25 or something, and we just fish for the day, and
yeah,
but it was like shortly after that he stopped doing those, and that's when I started Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge, and I guess in between that is when I found out about KBF, and they were doing the online events, so I started doing those, and I mean the online events I loved, man. They were just awesome. It just fed my competitive nature,
Yeah.
And gave me an excuse to go fishing and keep going. So,
yeah. And that's what me and James was talking, because we was talking about taking a little bit of break this year, doing a little more family time stuff with what we got going on, and that's what he was saying the other day. He said, I hate when I sign up for a month long event because then I feel like I have to go.
Yeah.
And it does. You sit there and look at the leaderboard, and you're like, dang, all I need is like another 20-inch fish,
Yep.
So then you go grind trying to get that other 20-inch fish, and it's addicting. It's about like major league fishing now, when with the scoreboards, and I didn't even look at it this time. I wasn't doing good. I didn't even want to disappoint myself even more looking at what the big numbers are going to be, So, but it is addicting if you're having a good event. And you go in and you check it, and you're like, man, I'm leading. I know I need some more fish, though, or man, I'm only 2 inches from catching this guy, and it makes you fish even harder. It's just addicting. I don't know what it is, man. It's just
I mean, some people really don't like looking at the leaderboards. I kind of feed off of it. So
yeah,
I'll always look at the leaderboard and kind of
Yeah.
see where I'm stacked up and see kind of what I need to do. And,
Yeah.
you know, if you got to grind.
That's easier to do if you got fish to put on the board. Just saying.
Yeah, well, I didn't look until I had 5 fish, so
Yeah.
I didn't submit anything until. Well, no, I kind of played the odds. I caught that 20. I caught that 20 and a half, and they do the hourly big bass. So usually, if I'm away fishing an event, usually what I do when I catch a good one is I call Dustin up and I'm like, hey Dustin, look at the leaderboard for me. Tell me what the big bass is for this hour. See if I should submit this or not.
Yeah.
And then he'll go look. He'll be like, oh no, there's a 22 caught or something. I'll be like, all right, I'll wait till next hour, and then submit it next hour. That way, you kind of play the odds or play the game a little bit and get that $50 check when if you would have just not looked and submitted it then, you would have gotten beat out. But,
Yeah.
But so that's kind of what I did with that one fish I had, and I got the hourly big bass. Is I looked and Mark Edwards had a 20 and a half on the board, and it was a 20 that I had. So I was like, all right, well we'll just wait, and I waited till the next hour, waited till the end of the hour, looked, and it was like an 18 and a half. I was like, all right, submitted it and took home $50 for that. So.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man. And that right there is crazy to me because, what was it, 7 hours? Was it 7 big fish spots they paid? 7 or 8?
Yeah.
Every hour. I can't remember how many hours we fished it. But it's just crazy how many big fish are caught every hour.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's just like the kayak, the national championship. I mean, James caught a big fish down there. What was that fish you caught? 22?
It's 22 and a quarter.
Yeah, and didn't win it for that hour. What did somebody catch that hour, James? Do you remember? Like a 24?
Like a 23 or something like that.
Yeah,
it might have been a 24.
Yeah, and that sucks when you catch a big fish like that.
So, there might have been another hour where it was like a 20 that won it.
Yeah.
I mean, you just really never know, and that's why I try to, not all events you win money at the end. So like, if I can win that $50, I'm gonna try to win that $50.
Yeah.
At least get me a tank of gas on the way home.
That's exactly right. Buy you dinner or something,
Yeah.
So, well, that's what we should have done. We should have made him pay for the whole thing. He wanted daggone big fish.
Well,
Whatever.
we're trying to get all them secrets,
Yeah, we were trying to find out the goods.
Yeah, that's a little good tip right there that probably a lot of people don't do, but they might start doing now. So I'm gonna have to watch. I'm gonna have to wait till that last minute now and hope.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Tammy now. Hey, babe, pull this up real quick.
Hey, that's what I call Dustin every time, man. I can't. He'll probably tell you how many times I've called him during events. And be like,
That's cool, man. But yeah, it's Casey, you've come a long ways, man. I just remember, I don't remember the day we started following you on Facebook, but I just remember on Facebook years ago and just start seeing you catching fish and getting into it and building. And, man, you've really built a name for yourself around here. I mean, when you go to a tournament now, people know, like, they got to beat you. They're there to try to outfish you. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're there just to try to outfish you, but they know that you're one of them. You're always in it. You're always in the mix somewhere. You're a consistent angler. And a lot of that is just time on the water. I mean, we talk about that every time. Me and James talked about it yesterday after you left. It's just the time on the water and how key that is, I mean, some squirrel's always gonna find a nut, you know what I mean? Yep. Blind squirrel's gonna find a nut is what they say, but that don't happen every time. You get lucky and you go out, you don't pre-fish, you ain't fished in 2 months, and you just go out there and you catch a big fish or catch a bunch of big fish. But to be consistent, though, is time on the water. Whether you're fishing a tournament or not, you just going fishing, always out there. And I mean, do you say that's a lot to your success on how you've done so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's huge. I've always said that as well. I mean, the more time you spend, the more you'll learn, the more little things you'll kind of pick up on. you could be doing a little bit something wrong and not realize it, but you know you spend a lot of time in that water, you'll eventually you'll realize it, and it could be something small, but you know you can pick up on that and change it, and that's what gets you better.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just kind of seeing, you know, and I'm seeing it too just with other guys that are coming up in the Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge. You know, with Nathan Green, he's done really well. He's won a big event this year, you know, and just the time on the water has been key.
Yeah.
And I look back to times where, you know, I say BC, 4 children, the times that we could put in on the water and how much better we did fishing, you know. And I mean, we still do okay. I'm not saying we're sucking it up too bad, but we just yesterday was pretty bad. But it's just that time, you know. We don't get as much time on the water as we used to.
Yeah.
And you can see a difference in it.
Yeah, I mean, you always there's that knowledge side of it, and then there's that the practice side of it, and it may not seem like if you feel like you know everything. I mean, if you don't fish for 2 years, you're gonna go back out there, and it's gonna be hard for you to, example, like skip up under a dock.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily just gonna come back to you just like that,
Mm-hmm.
and just, you know, being able to practice it, and I mean,
Yeah.
it's really practice with every aspect of it.
Being in tune.
Yeah, being in tune.
Yep, being in tune with the fish. So, Chris, we got any questions or anybody saying anything?
No, not yet.
All right, guys, if y'all got any questions for Casey, make sure y'all get them in. I know it's kind of last minute, too, how we done everything, because we were trying to wait to see who the get. And I never did share it on the KBF page, but that's my fault. Sorry about that, Casey.
I shared it on there, I think.
Okay. Casey,
We'll go.
thank you, Casey.
Yeah, good thing you got Casey on
Yeah.
the show.
We'll
Yeah.
go share it on there again real quick. How about that?
But no, I mean, it was a really good event yesterday. I know we're kind of jumping all over the place, but it's just so much I want to talk about. But it was a really great event. Y'all did a really good job. You had a lot of the Dakota guys helping out with the event because that's who sponsored the event. So it was just amazing how well it was organized with the amount of people that was in the event.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, and it was like I feel like it was a little unorganized. I definitely wasn't ready for that many people, and you know we had 40 something signed up like over a month ago, or it may have been more than that, but you know, so then I was like, I knew it was gonna be good numbers at it, but I wasn't quite expecting, you know, to break that 100 mark.
Yeah.
So I was a little underprepared for it, I think, but everything went pretty smoothly. It's not too much to it. The biggest part for me was fishing it and trying to run it at the same time. It was really hard. Like the night before, I wanted to get to sleep, and I still had people messaging me, texting me, calling me, questions coming in, and I'm like, gosh,
Yeah.
I got to get to sleep at some point.
Yeah.
but it was good, man.
Did you have to do much in the morning with sign up stuff, or was you able to kind of just go and put in like everybody else?
No, yeah, I went in and put in like everybody else, and a few people called me that morning, had a few questions, but actually after the tournament started, or after the fishing time started, I never got nobody had any questions, nobody had any issues, so everything went really smoothly for an event.
Yeah.
I mean, usually even in our local events where we have 30 people in them, a lot of times I'll get a phone call during the day or something. Somebody's having an issue uploading fish or whatever it is. But I got 2 phone calls that morning, and the rest of the day was silent, and until
That's
we
good.
got to check in.
You was able to concentrate on your fishing instead of just running the event then.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then on your trail side, that was run really well also with Brandon helping and just everything coming. Not the trail side. I'm sorry, Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge side of it. All that went really smooth. I mean, I've fished several bass boat tournaments, and sometimes it ain't as organized as how that was, And I mean, some of them guys been doing it for years.
Yeah.
But it was just impressive. I mean, to be able, how many fish were submitted yesterday? Do you remember what the total was on that?
I don't know.
So they had
Overall, like through tourney.
yeah.
I think it was close to 2,000.
Yeah.
And that was just KBF. I think it was just KBF events.
Yeah. So all them judges had to go through, judge the fishes, all that. So, I mean, just everything as together, how well it all worked out. Because it was a busy day yesterday for the KBF.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, luckily for them, our event, there wasn't a lot of fish submitted throughout the whole event.
Yeah.
But if you looked at the Gunnersville event, I mean, they had 163 people in that event, and they were catching fish. So
yeah.
There was a lot of fish submitted over there. And then I think the other two KBF events that went on were a little bit smaller, but yeah, I think that Gunnersville is probably the majority of those fish.
Yeah, that was. I seen some numbers from that Gunnersville event. That was impressive. That's. I would really like to make the national championship for Gunnersville just for that. Like, it's some big fish at Gunnersville.
Yeah.
And I think, the national championship, it's going to be kind of like a Louisiana tournament. It's going to be some more big numbers. Maybe not as big as Louisiana because of they had Caddo Lake or Cato. Did I say it wrong again?
Caddo.
Caddo, okay.
Caddo.
I had a Louisiana and tell me I said it wrong. But he said, "You ain't from around here, are you, boy?" I was like, "No, sir, I'm not." But I don't know if the numbers will be quite that big. I don't know. Gunnersville things can change. You see a lot of big fish pulled out that lake, but but I know now the KBF is taking more spots for the national championship. So how many spots did they give out yesterday for the trail? And then how many spots did you give out for the Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge yesterday?
So I know a few of them are going to overlap, and actually quite a bit of them in the Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge I know are already qualified.
Yeah.
So there's probably only two or three additional spots that we qualified out of the 8 that would have qualified for the Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the KBF side of that yet, but it's 10%. It will qualify. So 20 or no, I'm sorry.
8.
That was on the Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge.
The Virginia
so
Kayak.
So 12.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, that goes to show you what kind of event they're going to have at the national championship. There's going to be a lot more people. We talked about this yesterday. It's going to be a lot more people fishing it.
Yeah,
this coming
I
up
think
year.
it will be. I think it'll be closer to what we had the year before. You'll probably have closer to 800 people.
Yeah.
Just by the amount of spots that they're giving out, and each KBF partner that has an event over 30 people in it will be able to qualify 10%.
Yeah.
Instead of where they did last year, each partner got like either like 5 or depending on what level of partnership they are, but so there'll definitely be a lot more handed out by the partners this year.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad to see that, just that growing, you know what I mean? It's going to be back to a lot more people, and it makes it a little bit easier for some guys to qualify now, instead of fishing a whole series if they can't afford to do it, or have the time to do it. But
yeah, you have one good event and you can get qualified.
Yeah. Which, like I say, I've talked about this before. In a way I don't like that, but in a way I do, because I think it's kind of like the classic is what I think of it as,
Yeah.
You should have to fish your tail off all year long to make it. But I do get it. The more I've been into this, I do get it now. Like, not everybody's got the time to do that. So, but like on the Pro Series, y'all have y'all's big championship anyways. I mean, don't y'all went down to Toledo Bend? When was it Toledo Bend?
Yeah, well, that was the Trail Series championship.
Yeah.
And the Challenge Series.
So that's kind of like y'all's big thing. The guys that fished a lot of those events to make it down there.
So you had to be in the top certain points, I think, or something to get into that. And it'll kind of be the same thing this year, and we'll be interested to see what they end up doing with the Pro Series part of it.
Yeah.
Right now, it's more or less a side pot kind of thing. If you have that extra money to throw in, you can throw it in and win more money. Basically, it's
Yeah.
along with every trail event, and then the championship will be the same. So the championship will be with the Trail Series championship. So they have the Challenge Series, the Trail Series, and the Pro Series championship. All, I think it's La Crosse in Wisconsin, on
Uh-huh.
on the Mississippi.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing something about that on there.
Yeah.
So, James, you got I don't know, putting you on a spot because we didn't really discuss how I was doing the show tonight. We just went in just doing this thing, man. Do you got anything for Casey that you like to talk about before we go much further?
I just like to go in depth about what he did with the shaky head fishing.
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity.
All right. So we know you were skipping docks and stuff like that, but what was some of the key docks that you feel like, what was breaking it down? Was it deep docks on points and, just kind of go tell us a little bit of stuff about that.
Yeah, so most of them they weren't on points and they weren't in the very back. So it was like the back about the middle of the pocket seemed to be what produced the best. They were a little bit deeper docks. I was generally sitting in about 10 to 12 foot of water, sitting out in front of the dock when I was casting up under it. There was a few key. Well, I caught only a couple of the fish that I caught that weren't on docks came off of stumps that I was just, when I was going in between docks, I was marking on the side imaging and just would cast out there, and then I pulled a couple off that way. And then I found a few docks with stumps underneath them, and every one of those I got bit on. So the docks with stumps were kind of key as well, or just stumps in general, I guess, as well.
Sweet. Now when you got there and you started fishing the the docks and you're breaking it all down, what made you get onto that pattern? Where did you just stumble upon it, or?
It's what I love to do. So it's if I see a dock that looks like it's fishy, I'm gonna go fish it with a shaky head, basically. and I mean, I fished Lake Anna last year, and caught some on docks, so I knew it was probably gonna be a key into what I was gonna do, anyways. And so I mean, that's like I was telling y'all earlier.
Yeah.
I love fishing a shaky head, and I love fishing docks. So you put those two together, and it just worked out for me.
What was the water temp where you were fishing at?
So I think the water temperature, I think I saw it get up to about 60, 68, maybe 69.
Whew.
Yeah, that's a whole lot warmer where we were at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went from one part of the creek, from the mouth to the very back of the creek, and it dropped 5 degrees in temperature. It was 60 degrees in the back of the back of the creek, and 64 at the very beginning of it.
Yeah,
It was crazy.
I noticed that temperature change as well back there.
Now I wonder if that had much to do with the amount of rain that came in and the runoff coming in, cooling the water temperature off a little bit. I mean, it wasn't really a cool rain, though. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
most of the time it backs to the pockets or your warmer water because it's shallower and all that. But with all that water coming, I wonder if that was what was the big change.
Yeah, I think either that or the cool nights, maybe.
Yeah.
That shallower water will cool down quicker as well, as it'll heat up quicker during the day. So it has the most fluctuation, I think, throughout the day.
And that's probably what, kept them mid, why they bit better, maybe mid-creek. It's more of a stable condition. It's not as they can pull back. Because mid-creek, a lot of times, are going to be your deeper spots.
Yeah.
They can pull down into deep water and come back up when they need to. Plus the shad spawn going on. That shad wasn't moving too far back. They were staying about mid-creek. At least the places I was at, it seemed like shad were about midways back.
Yeah.
So, but go ahead, James. Sorry.
What color was your prominent color on the shaky head?
Green pumpkin.
Green pumpkin.
Yep.
Is that the only color
Old
you got in your
Faithful.
box?
I I have black in the box now after Louisiana. Um, but yeah, I mean for the most part it's green pumpkin.
He's got a Plano box with every slot with just
it's
green pumpkin
green
worms.
pumpkin, June bug, and black is basically all I'll throw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, James. I was just
Keeping it
curious.
simple.
Yeah.
That's what That's what everybody says. Keep it simple.
Yep.
Don't
I feel
overthink it.
like I feel like I'm really proficient with the shaky head and that style of fishing, and the other styles of fishing I can't say that so much about. So I have all sorts of crap of everything else, but I can keep it simple with that because I'm confident in what I know works for me. So
Yeah. Were you skipping all the way underneath the docks, or were you kind of, or were they out there on the deeper, dock poles?
So a lot of the docks up there are really hard to skip. I don't know if the water was higher in general. It's not like a lot of the docks you see at Smith where you have a lot of room up under most of them to cast up under. You had some where you had 2 inches to get up under there. So it was, especially with the wind, it made it really hard to get back in a lot of those docks. But I caught fish all the way from in the middle of the docks to out front. So there was I didn't really pinpoint anything as far as that goes to
Yeah.
where they were on the docks. I just was hitting it all.
I hear you. Yeah, because I've had certain times of the year where you fish the sunny side of the dock and then all this and that. So
Yeah, I
but
mean,
yeah,
I guess for
that's
the most part, it was the shaded side of the dock. But as far as where the front back,
yeah. It didn't matter which pole.
Yeah.
And before you go much further, just for people that kind of getting into the fishing side, the fishing thing, and breaking down docks, you wouldn't think it would be much to it. It's like James was saying, the sunny side of the dock, or we've had tournaments before where people just flip the floating dock.
Yeah.
Like you got some docks that's got the dock and they got the floating dock off of it, where they were catching the fish off of it. So I mean that's things you got to really pay attention to when you're fishing docks, because if you catch 3 or 4 fish off just the floating side of the dock on a shady side, then that's what you need to start hitting. That's when you start really breaking it down and fine tuning that bite. And James, like you said, I mean, you've told me before in a tournament, man, I caught them all on the very end pole on a sunny side.
Yep.
And
I was running I remember it was a right hand pole on every dock, and I would catch a fish.
yeah,
Just boom, boom, boom. The very end pole, it wasn't no sense in fishing. None of the rest of it. Just working them.
and there's days on a dock where you got the walkway. Like this time of the year, the walkway going through the dock is really good to skip a Cinco or a trick worm or whatever under there and just hit all that.
Yeah.
So people kind of just, I just want to leave that tip out there is really pay attention to where you're catching that fish off that dock. You're not just skipping under there and just working all the way back. He's coming from somewhere that dock to hit, whether it be the end, middle, very first pole, whatever, So when you're fishing, really pay attention to where you're getting them bites out on them docks, because you'd be really surprised at how fast you can break a pattern down.
Yeah, especially if you're in darker colored water. Because
Yeah.
I think with clearer water, they're gonna see it.
Yeah.
From a lot further away, and if they're gonna want to eat it, they're gonna come and get it.
Yeah.
But that really helps out to be able to pinpoint where they're at in that dingier water, when they're every time you cast, they're not necessarily gonna see anything that comes under that dock.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a whole lot to fish them. So when someone tells you, "Hey, I caught them off docks," you're like, "Oh boy, it's a whole lot you can break down on that." So
yeah,
instead of just, "Hey, I was flipping wood," well, that's pretty
simple.
that's pretty simple. But yeah, dock fishing is a whole lot more thinking to it than people think.
Yeah, exactly.
But congratulations, Casey, on your win. Like we said, it's been nice just seeing the progression of the whole thing, and then of you yourself.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate that, and it was pretty unbelievable. So, still kind of soaking it in, and
Oh, I could tell yesterday. You
Yeah.
could just tell you was just like, man, you know.
Yeah, I mean, even the whole day at the check-in, like, I kind of knew that I had won it, but I really didn't know. And with talking to everybody, it didn't sink in at all that I was like about to be winning it. And that's why they didn't send the results to me. They sent them to the other guy, and that's why he did the announcements. Is because they kind of wanted it to be a surprise for me.
Yeah.
So they sent the results to him so he could announce the winner. So I didn't have to announce myself as the
Yeah.
winner. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I could tell. Like once everybody left and we are starting to clean up, me and James was saying you could tell the change. Like you were getting excited. It's like it was starting to set in that you won it. Because man, if I'd have won it, dude, I'd been like, whoa, like just that's a big event, And
Yeah.
and Casey's so humble and just quiet about it, Like I could tell you wanted, like you had it in you, wanted to just be really excited, And you were
Yeah.
just, you were so home. You're being professional about it, you know what I mean? Because you're still running the event and trying to talk to everybody and all that. And I just couldn't imagine. That's probably pretty tough to do.
Yeah, I mean that made it really tough, but it also made it so much better afterwards that I could just relax because I mean I was stressing not only at the fishing part, I'm fishing for points, so like I wanted to do good, but running the event, I just felt that I couldn't put as much time and effort into fishing as I needed to. So I kind of just took it for what it was, and I knew what I was going to go do. I was just going to go do that and hope for a limit and hope for some decent points.
Yeah.
And just to have it work out how it did is unbelievable. And so I should be sitting pretty good right now in points. I just need one more event to do good in, and I'll be up there for sure.
Yeah. Now they doing the point system. I know they have the different regions and all that. So are they going to do the point system as a whole now, or just by each region?
So I still haven't really figured this all out yet. I believe what the deal is there's going to be a regional angler of the year and an overall angler of the year. The overall angler of the year, like I could go fish, like I fished Santee Cooper, that's the southeast region, and then I fished this, it's the northeast. So those will count to the overall points.
Yeah.
So I need one more event. I could go fish Texas, and then if I do good there, then that'd be all the events I need for the overall angler of the year. But I wouldn't have qualified for the regional championship, and you need those regional championship points. They go to your overall angler of the year points. So you kind of have to fish at least 3 events in a region for the overall angler of the year.
I got you.
It's a little confusing, but I still don't know if I 100% if that's exactly what it is, but it's something pretty close to that. So
yeah. I wish one day they could break it down. We need to do a video on it one day.
Yeah.
And break it down like on a dry race board or something. You know what I mean? And like this is overall, and then if you fish this, these points go to this, and have it in the center, like what it all goes to, you know, and how, because we do get a lot of questions just on our end, and I just send everybody to you, or I send everybody to KBF, because we don't quite understand it, we just go fishing now, we're just like, heck, what's these points going to, like, we just, I know what the Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge stuff's going to, I know how that works, but, just everything else, so it is kind of confusing sometimes, on how everything works. But we're, for us, we don't travel like you do and fish all those events. It really doesn't matter on our side. But somebody that is getting into it, some of these guys come out these bass boats getting into the kayaking side, want to be competitive and be able to travel and do these things. And, and I think it just needs to be broke down a little bit easier for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, they got a lot going on, so there's a lot you got to keep up with, and I mean, there's a lot of chances to win money in KBF, and so you got to be able to keep up with all those different things. And
yeah,
it's truly hard. I've been able to do it for the past couple years, but this year I felt kind of lost as far as everything. keep trying to keep up with it. So I think I got a grasp on it now, and hopefully I do, and hopefully I got the correct understanding and can do good with it.
So let's go over one more topic. Chris, what time we got?
9:55.
Yeah, let's go over one more topic here. Let's talk about you on the Dakota fishing team. You know, that team come together for the national championship, right? That's how that team come together.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about the national championship then, because how did y'all play? How did the team as a whole place down there?
And as far as in the Team Challenge Cup, I think we were 9th out of 12.
Yeah.
So a couple of guys had some tough days. Caught some small fish, and that's all they could come up with. That's how it goes, you know. But we had, it just took like one of those guys catching a good one, and we would have been right back up there, man. So,
yeah.
So
it just seems like you guys are a good tight knit group. It seems like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like everybody works together, talks together, conversates together. You know.
Yeah. No, it's actually a really great team to be a part of. We got Jason Gardner. He was kind of put as the team captain, and he's been handling a lot of things for us as far as, we're actually still working on getting some other sponsors as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I don't know exactly what the deal was as far as the Team Cup. Obviously, all that's over with. So, but we're actually sticking together, kind of still as a team. As far as that goes, so it's been really good, and hopefully we can make Dakota Lithium happy, and kind of make up for that money they spent for us to fish the Team Cup. So.
Yeah, I think that's really good. I see some teams I don't follow everybody, but just seeing the Dakota team, how y'all do and interact and post, and it like I say, it's a really tight niche group. And some of the other guys, it's like after the championship, you don't see much out of those teams. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's really cool, and I think a lot of these companies need to take that in consideration. And I mean, you always got your pro staff teams with everything, but like they don't really seem like a team. You know what I mean? Like how y'all are doing it.
Yeah. Like, we're actually functioning kind of. I mean, it's not like we're fishing together or anything.
Yeah.
But like we're as far as on the outside, we're functioning as a team, and sticking together and helping each other out, and like trying to get sponsorships as a team. So.
Yeah.
So I think it'll end up. I mean, it's been going great so far. So I think it'll really help us out. It's going to really help the companies that we're representing out as well. So.
And a lot of those guys that y'all fish, that was at this event, y'all travel together too, don't you? I mean, do y'all?
Yeah,
I say travel together, go to the same events, kind of deal.
Yeah. Pretty much all of them, I think, are fishing the whole Northeast region as well. So somebody may miss an event here and there, but I mean they're in it for the points as well, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's really good. Hey, Chris, we don't have nothing else, do we? I ain't seen. What kind of comments we got going on there?
Just people saying hello. That's about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I do want to thank everybody tuning in tonight. It has been a good show so far. James, do you have anything else that you would like to ask Casey for tonight?
Not that I can think of.
You're on the spot right now. Everybody's staring at you.
I know. We're all staring. Everybody's staring. Ah!
But
no, I can't think of anything right now. I mean, we've kind of covered everything that
Yeah. I got you.
I can't wait to the next event.
Yeah.
I need to redeem myself.
You ain't the only one. Yeah, we gotta do a little bit better. Do a little better on points.
Yeah.
So,
Well, my next event is actually next weekend. Nickajack.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about
that.
KBF
The big
FLW,
tournament.
man.
Yeah.
That's going to be really exciting. I guess they announced it the other day, but I just saw it today. So it's a $5,000 guaranteed payout for that. So it should be pretty good, man.
You got momentum right now.
That's what I'm
So,
hoping.
Yeah, you got momentum.
We'll see how
And
it goes.
when do you leave to go to that event?
So I still haven't figured it out. I'll probably leave either Wednesday night or Thursday night.
You ain't gonna put much practice in. You're just gonna kind of do your
Yeah,
research on the
that's
computer and.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people think I don't work, but I do work. So,
That dude don't work. As much as he fishes, that dude don't work.
Yeah, so I got to be at work for at least a little bit this week, I guess. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'll get a day at least on the water to kind of check it out and get a feel for it and see how it goes.
Just kind of fish off the seat of your pants, and throw a shaky head, and I bet your kayak's light.
No, it's not light at all. Like I said, I told you I got the shaky head thing figured out, so I'm real limited on that. I got a box and it's nothing but shaky heads.
Yeah.
Three bags of worms and I'm good. But everything else that I don't have, I just got piles of stuff that that I never end up throwing, but it's all in there just in case.
Yeah. Yeah, you stumble across something, and
Yeah.
so that's the problem with us. I mean, granted, we added trolling motors and had added a good amount of weight to the kayaks, but like we like throwing a lot of different things. I love throwing a spinnerbait. That's what killed me about yesterday.
Yeah.
Stumbling onto that a little bit late. I mean, I threw it all through the day, but just that location, that bite wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Until we found something later. But I like throwing crankbaits. I like throwing Texas rig, jigs. James is all say we all fish about the same stuff. So we got like 12 rods that are coming with us, and some of them I think just gets in the way. But we got so much tackle that you're trying to dig through, and I think sometimes it kind of hurts us because we got so much we want to do. You know what I mean? And
yeah, I mean it's definitely for me, anyways. I feel like it's different. I mean, I've never fished solely out of a bass boat or anything. I know both of y'all did, but I think. Definitely it changes because, I mean, you can't do that running and gunning, so you kind of got to find something in the area you're in and kind of stick with it. So I think having all that different stuff probably hurts a lot of people. Just trying too many different things or changing too many things up when you just, sometimes it's just sticking with something and grinding it out and getting those bites rather than just really trying to, move around and figure it out like you can in a bass boat a lot easier.
Yeah. And I think that's, I got away from Carolina rigging for a long while. And I started having some events where I was struggling, and instead of just kind of pulling off and throwing that, I'd go do something else. And now I've kind of gone back to old school, like how me and James used to fish Carolina rigs, Texas rigs, and throwing that stuff, And now that I'm getting my butt whipped by my own shaky heads, that I think I'm going to have to probably start going back to throwing a shaky head. But yeah, just a little plug for me. But anyways, I think we should get a little bit of that money now that I think about it.
Oh, I do owe you for those shaky heads.
Yeah, that price went up on those shaky heads. I can guarantee you that. Yeah, I know you got the money now. Oh, $15? Yeah, sorry. That went up to about $35 a bag now. But I think my window's letting a lot of bugs in. I don't think that screen's in there. I'm just starting to see bugs flying by. It's catching out the corner of my eye, but sorry. Yeah, we're going to fix that. But anyways, but Casey, man, congratulations to you. It was a really awesome event. It was a fun event to fish. I mean, even if you didn't catch that many fish, it was still a fun event to fish, just meeting everybody, talking to everybody. Everybody was really great guys. It didn't seem like there was no confrontational stuff.
Oh yeah.
It was a really fun event. So,
yeah.
But congratulations to you. Looking forward to seeing how things go for you this year. Hopefully, maybe with this win and how you're doing already this year, maybe some more sponsorship stuff comes rolling in for you and helping you out through the year. So, have you done much with your YouTube anymore? Or you just kind of?
I haven't. I had an issue with my GoPros a while back, and I took those off the kayak, and I just kind of got out of that. But I really need to start doing a few more videos here and there. But
yeah.
But
I was just going to refer everybody to your your YouTube channel, which, I mean, you got to write many videos up on DIY kayaking stuff. So if you're getting new into kayaking or you've been in it for a while but want to make some change on stuff, go check out Casey Reed's YouTube channel.
Yep.
Follow him on Facebook. You got Instagram as well.
Yep. Casey D. Reed on Instagram. It's Casey Reed Fishing on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a good platform there. So just go check him out, follow him. He's always posting big fish pictures. If you get a chance, go on Tourney X, and they can look up the tournaments and see, all the Virginia tournaments and stuff and they can follow you on there as well.
Yep.
Through everything. Just look at the big fish that which you're right now second in the state challenge with was 103 inches, I think it was.
103 and 3/4, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So that's several.
Well,
good.
one of those. Did you put your fish on there from yesterday?
No, I didn't. I knew, like, I think it was that morning. I was like, I need to write that the online identifier code on the identifier I was using for that day, and I don't guess I ever did. So yeah, basically no, I didn't put that identifier in the picture.
Oh yeah, because I checked and you had a 19, and I was like, well, didn't he catch a 20?
I think it was a half-inch upgrade. But Jason said he's not going fishing this month or the rest of the month, but we'll see about that.
He's a liar.
Yeah.
He went fishing all day today. He's a liar.
No, but there's one other guy. I'm not sure. I can't remember his name, but he's got 102. He's right behind Jason. He's in 4th place, and he's got a 17 and an 18 on the board still. I'm like, holy crap, man.
Yeah.
These people got like 22s, 23s, and 24s up on the board like it's nothing, dude.
Yeah.
I need to find out where they're getting their fish stretcher from.
No lie, man, because it's been
I'll order a couple of those.
It's been a struggle this month. I know, which we ain't had a whole lot of time to go like we used to, but last year. But it's been a struggle just trying to get a big bite. Like I cannot get a big bite. I'll get 17s. I can't find a daggone big bite this year. And I mean, I've seen them. I've seen some of the fish there. I mean, I lost a 4-pounder yesterday. That might would have helped me a little bit,
Yeah.
But man, it's been a struggle just trying to get that big one. This time of the year is when you should be getting that big bite. So I'm hoping the summertime coming, the deep bite, it's gearing to fire up. I'm hoping that's gonna be time. Some of these guys, really great spring fishermen might fall off a little bit because it's hard deep fishing. You know what I mean? Finding those deep fish for them. So
it's funny how that works season because I'm not really springtime isn't really my thing.
Yeah.
But it's when they move to that summer pattern. That's when I did really good last year.
Yeah. When you can start finding them on the graph, on those rock piles or those brush piles, and that's when it starts getting fun.
That's when I really like it.
Yeah. You're hitting them spots a lot of people don't see.
Yeah.
That's the fun part about it. So.
Hey, you need to send me that picture of that turtle.
Oh, I do. I got an awesome picture. I'll post that up on our Facebook and stuff too. It's a shadow of a turtle.
Oh, really?
A big snapping turtle.
Okay. On the live or whatever. What is
yeah.
it
Well, no, this was just on the side scan.
Okay.
It's sick looking, man. I was like, what is that? I had to take a picture. I was trying to figure out the screenshot on the Garmin thing. I ain't quite figured that out yet, but so I took a picture of it, and it's pretty sick. I'm gonna share it up on the thing, but
nice.
But on the other side you can see like a flat object, and on this side you see like the shadow.
Yeah.
It's sick looking, man. I think it's really cool, but it's crazy how some of these graphs are getting now. I know with the live scope, you can really. I don't know if you messed with it much this weekend, James, but you can actually see like what's carp, what's crappie. I mean, just by looking at the tail or how they swim when they swim by it.
Yeah.
It's really sick looking. Like I love it. It's actually hard to look away from it now.
Yeah.
It's like you're watching TV. You're like, oh god, it's stupid how many fish is under your boat. When you're not catching nothing, you're like, gosh, you put that thing on there. You're like, why? Look at all the fish down there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just. It really makes you sick. It's almost like if you're zeroed and you look at the score tracker and you see somebody with 100 inches for the day.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's that kind of sickness. You know what I mean? You ain't getting a bite, but you see hundreds of fish down there.
Just take a cast net with you.
Yeah. So, but guys, I don't have much more to add. James, you got anything else you want to add?
No, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in and thank Casey for coming on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on as always, man. It's been fun.
Yeah, Casey, like I said earlier, Casey ain't no stranger. You've been with us since day one. I mean, when we've had you on, I think the first year we did it, getting into the kayaking side. I don't think we had Chad Hoover.
Yeah,
That was the first show that you come on. We had Chad Hoover on. So, but it's been a wild ride. Casey's been with us since day one we started this thing. So, it's actually because of Casey that we got into the kayaking side of it. Got out of the bass boats. Got to following you, talking to you on the show, and just kind of covering it more, which got us into it. So that's why we're here where we're at right now. And James still got his bass boat. I ain't got no bass boat, and that's all I want to do is kayak fish anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I appreciate.
So now
that.
I've got 2 boats. My wife really likes Casey.
So, but yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on. Big congratulations to you and your Dakota team. I know that was big for you guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing everything coming out. So, guys, go check out, like I say, go check out all our sponsors. I'm going to put a link in the bottom there to go check out Dakota batteries as well. We'll have it on the link here. What's that?
Dakota what?
You heard what I said, batteries. Batteries. I say batteries. I'm waiting to see some comments on that because I did another video today where I was talking about the Biono battery on the back. So I'm waiting for comments on that.
I don't know what the hell a battery is. That's probably what they're going to say. What in the hell is he?
But man, I appreciate it, and look forward to seeing this year fold out for you. Starting out good. So, guys, I'll talk to you guys later. Make sure you go follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, check us on Instagram, Twitter. We're everywhere. So just go to all the platforms, follow us, and we'll talk to you later. See you guys.
All right. See you.